I commute on the #1 train from the Rector Street stop, which is the second stop on the train heading uptown. So I always get a seat. I grew up in New Jersey, and that's kind of part of my identity. I still think of myself as a New Jersey boy, so to speak.
So tell me about your parents.
Irving and Norma Shapiro. My mother is still living.
Okay.
My father is deceased. The thing that's most noteworthy about them and growing up is that we lived in Montclair, New Jersey, and my parents owned a candy store, and we lived in the apartment above the candy store. And I have a brother and a sister, and a big part of our lives growing up was spent working in the candy store, which had the disadvantage of involving a lot of work, but it had the advantage, as I always point out to people, that my parents were always home. That is, we'd come home from school, my parents were working in the store, and so they were always around.
And did you do inventory frequently?
Yeah, hands-on inventory, yes.
In time, Bob realized that it was a short step from hands-on inventory to hands-on statistical methods.
The courses I was taking in statistical methods early on were physically taught at NORC. And so the big influence on me was being at the University of Chicago, studying with Ben Page, but also being at NORC. And the research that Ben Page and I did was done supported by an NSF grant initially, which was administered at NORC. So I spent a great deal of my time in graduate school at NORC. And I think that was a very big influence on me, because you were in an environment in which I was studying public opinion, but it was an environment where polls were done, where the NORC General Social Survey was done. The first statistics course I took at the University of Chicago with Garth Taylor, we analyzed the GSS. It was the 1972 GSS, the very first GSS that was done. And that's where I met Tom Smith and James Davis and other people. And so that I think was that environment was a very big influence on me. But the important thing for me here in terms of studying public opinion, my interest in public opinion has to do with my own interest in originated with my interest in political history, and which goes back to when I was in high school. And when I went to graduate school, I didn't think I'd be studying necessarily American politics. I was actually interested in Chinese politics of all things, and I figured out pretty quickly that my comparative advantage and my greater interest was actually in American politics. And in particular, I became interested in the study of public opinion in the context of the importance of public opinion in democracy. And so my entire career is predicated in that interest, and in that interest, history is very important. There was a long period where I was the editor of the Polls Trends section of Public Opinion Quarterly, and I was the successor to Tom Smith, who really did a tremendous job of resurrecting that section of the journal. And then I kind of took the baton, or the editor's pen, so to speak, from him. And I felt it was very important to continue that section of the journal to track trends in public opinion on prominent issues of the day. So there's that. And then the other thing, obviously very importantly, is my work with the Roper Center. I've been a member of the board of directors for many years, and I'm currently the chair of the board of directors. And that archive is very important for archiving public opinion data for the historical study of public opinion and democracy.
You wrote a book back in the 90s, something about the rational public.
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Well, this is a good question, and the book often gets misread or misinterpreted. And I'm not sure how much blame that Ben Page and I should have for any misreadings and misinterpretations. But the rationality of public opinion only goes so far as the quality of the information they get, and more importantly, the quality of leadership that the nation has, because the public is dependent on leaders for information and guidance. And the scholar who most emphasized this was a famous political scientist named V.O. Key. And it often gets overlooked how important leadership is. So the rationality of public opinion has to be thought of hand in hand with the rationality of political leaders. And in this day and age, there's a lot of lamenting about the lack of rationality of public opinion. And my response to that is, well, look at the quality of the leadership.
Bob has been teaching, researching, serving, and leading at Columbia University for 40 years. And with that longevity has come bigger offices, but it's still tight.
The corner office is bigger, and what I've learned is that the amount of things I accumulate is a function of the size of my office.
Yes. Bob's wife, Nancy Rubenstein, loves to travel, and they've been on some great trips together.
So, I mean, certainly the most memorable one is the kind of once-of-a-lifetime experience of going to Antarctica, which is really it's kind of a major big deal to kind of get there. Her constant question to me with respect to traveling is that, now just tell me, would you be doing this if it weren't for me? And I, of course, immediately say, absolutely not. I would not be doing this. You're fully responsible, and I thank you for it.